Hi everyone, this is Jill from the North Woods. Well, we had a 1.4 pound weight loss. I think 1.4 pounds if you it's called the median in statistics, and that is seems to be the amount I lose most often, 1.4 pounds. It was a crazy week. First of all, I usually get kind of hungry, not kind of hungry, but hungry. I can feel the drug wearing off Mondays and Tuesdays, and since going up on the new dose, I don't feel it at all. In fact, I feel the dose that I'm taking right now so strongly that got to about an hour past when I usually take the shot. And I thought, oh, today is Wednesday. I'm supposed to take the shot. Usually I can feel the drug wearing off. It reminds me to take the shot. In this case, I had to use my phone reminder, which I have set up to remind me to take the shot. So this dose is rocking everything that it's supposed to be rocking. And the side effects have, like I said, gone away. I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I was having problems with my scalp just hurting, and then it was kind of causing a low-grade headache. I started thinking about it that every other place that kind of aches after I take the shot, there's an injury there. Something was wrong with it. And so I started thinking, well, what's wrong with my scalp? And I thought, it is winter. Maybe my scalp is really dry. I don't have dandruff, but I have dry skin because it's winter and I live in the North Woods. And so I tried a scalp conditioner that is just regular stuff they make for people with dandruff. It has zinc in it and it has conditioners in it. And I started using it and all of a sudden the scalp pain went away. So maybe what you're feeling when you feel this thing happen is just dry skin. And because everything is oversensitized, it suddenly hurts a little bit more than it usually does. So there you have it. I've been able to solve that problem as well. And so right now I just have the normal. I get sick a little bit after I take the shot and it seems to be fine. Friend brought up too that she has problems with it turning red or turning white right where she takes the shot. That has happened to me. Sometimes I get little weird red streaks in wherever I take the shot. And sometimes I get a little droplet of GLP dose on my leg or a little droplet of blood. But none of it is that bad. I was talking to a different friend of mine about it, and she says, do you ever just feel like the side effects are just too much? I mean, why do this to yourself? And I said, why do this to myself? Well, I someday maybe will do all the side effects of what weight does to you as a person. I am losing weight pretty consistently week after week. I am half a pound from 50. So I had no hope before. Again, like I said, I extrapolated how long it was going to take me to lose this kind of weight. And I think I figured out it was going to be over 20 years at the rate I was losing weight. So I don't care about the side effects. I don't care that I have to watch what I eat when I take the drug because fine, I have to watch what I eat anyway. So I think this drug is just revolutionary. I hope my insurance company keeps going, paying for it. I hope that my job keeps going so that I have insurance. And thank you to both my job and my insurance for allowing this to happen. This is life-changing for me. A couple of things that I also did is I am about out of pants. I started noticing that the very smallest pants I have are starting to get droopy, and I might have to actually go out and buy pants. I'm grateful also for the fact that I stored away all those clothes when I lost weight so that I could move back into those clothes as I go. Shirts are a little bit different. Even if a shirt's kind of big, you can get away with it. But pants are harder, and so they actually kind of have to fit or you might have a problem. So I think pant shopping might be in my future, maybe after bird watching season. So that's the big news is it broke out into spring here, and my bud Em and I, we do the podcast Buzz Blossom and Squeak together. We are hikers and bird watchers, and we've been waiting for the weather to break just a little bit. And last weekend we went out and started bird watching again. It was just so nice to be out, and I can't wait to go hiking again and just see how I do. Last year at this time, well, not this time, last year in what month was that? Where I went camping, I was a little disappointed that I couldn't hike up hills as fast as I used to, that I still felt sloggy, and I'm hoping this year it's a little better. But that brings to the other point that I'm also going to have to kick up my cardio. I noticed today at the gym we had to do a number of weights, and I do great on the pure weightlifting, bench press kind of thing. But when it's step ups with weights, then I struggle. And so that seems to me to be more of a cardio problem, that I have to really work on my cardio and not work. Well, I won't say work as much on weights, because I do believe that weightlifting is the secret to keeping muscle while you're on any diet, and making yourself healthier so that you can get up out of chairs. Some friends of mine are having problems with our parents, who are older, of course, and having trouble with mobility. And I'm hoping to stave that off. I mean, I'm not anywhere near that point yet, but I want to work towards getting there so that I never have those mobility problems in that same way. I want to stay mobile as long as I possibly can. So, but I do need to step up my cardio. I think challenge myself more. And like I said, biking. I'm looking forward to the snow being gone, to the snowy weather being gone, to a little bit of warmer weather without a lot of wind, so I can get out there and go biking. So those are my plans. Like I said, 1.4, I'm totally happy with that, and very close to 50 pounds, which is great. I showed some friends some pictures that I had taken of myself just recently at the gym, which I showed at last week's episode. And everyone's like, "Oh, wow, you're so skinny." And I know relatively I am. I still have 68 pounds to lose, which is better than 100 and whatever pounds to lose. So I'm not nixing the progress. But I still know, I guess, in my heart of hearts, that I still have some ways to go. So I wanted to talk this week a little bit about making things fun, simple, convenient. Whatever goal it is you're looking to do, whatever it is that you're hoping to do, if you do those things, that is the secret to making things better. I mean, there's all sorts of techniques. There's habit stacking and tiny habit things that we've talked about in the past, and there's books about how to increase your ability to do habits. But let me tell you, the very first one that I ever did, and this is the only reason I exercise at all right now, is because I've done these three things. I either make something very simple, I make something very convenient, or I make something very fun, and I want to do it. And exercise is just not it for me. I wish I could tell you I love exercise, and I don't. I tend to, in my personality, just in general, not to like repetitive things. Like, I love going hiking, where I can go hiking over here, and I can go up over that bluff over there, and I can go over to that river over yonder and walk around the lake over here. Everything is a little bit different each time, which I like. But when it comes to getting on a machine, which you have to do in winter when you live in the North Woods, often enough, I just don't like it. Or going, people are like, go for a walk around your block. And I'm like, ugh. I know my block. I've been around my block a million times. I know it. And sometimes you see a dog you didn't see the last time, but it's just not enough for me. And I just dislike it. So what can I do in order to get myself not just exercise, but even eating healthy? The problem is that there are so many amazing foods out there that are just not healthy for you, but there's only so many foods that are healthy for you. How can you do it? And so some examples that I have done is that I have workout clothes in my car. I have a set of workout clothes in my room over there where I exercise. There's a lot of space in there so I can spread out. I can do my TRX, and got a couple of like a rowing machine and an exercise bike in there. I can work out over there, but there's always a stack of clothes and a set of shoes in there. Now, it costs a little bit of money because I did have to buy a separate set of shoes because I have clothes. But they're always there, and so there's never excuse like, "Oh, where are my clean clothes? I just don't know." That's step number one. Step number two is that I always make sure I try to schedule it. I try to schedule a time that's nice and free where I won't get interrupted, where I can exercise, and that tends to be right away in the morning. Signing up for a class. Right now, I'm working out with a trainer, and I have scheduled appointments. So it doesn't take any willpower out of me. I just show up. I get in my car and I drive. She makes the workouts. She tells me what to do. She tells me when I'm slacking off or if I'm not doing it right. No willpower involved. But that is true too if you can sign up for a class. And if you can sign up for a class with other people and you just show up, it makes it much easier. And classes tend to be a lot less money than having a trainer, and they tend to be very fun and good. I know the gym that I used to belong to, they had all kinds of classes. They had body weight exercises, they had dance classes, spinning classes, swimming classes, you name it. And like I said, all you have to do is show up. There's so little willpower in there that it helps you to do it. But if you can't make that work, again, there are online classes. There's all sorts of exercises here on YouTube. If you're into the AI thing, you can say, hey, AI, I would like you to give me a arms workout that lasts about 20 minutes for someone who is on the lower intermediate side of things. Or I can bicep curl 10 pounds, give me a workout that would be in that range. And it'll create one for you. I mean, it absolutely will. And so there's lots of ways of doing it. I think scheduling a class is a little bit better. A friend of mine started working for a yoga studio as a receptionist because she didn't have the money to take yoga classes. She does this so that she can take yoga classes for free, part of the perk of being an employee of that company. So there's ways of doing that you can do it. Or you could sign up and be one of those app dog walkers, and that'll make you be committed to going for a walk all the time. I should sign up for being an app dog walker. That sounds like fun. But you get the idea that whenever you have a class or some sort of a commitment, suddenly the willpower is all just in scheduling it and is no longer in workouts. The other thing is try having a couple of lazy workout plans. I have some of those because there's some times where I don't have a lot of time, or I don't know, it's Sunday night, it's 9:45, I need, another 20 minutes of exercise. So I have workout plans that are just easy cheesy, playing Beat Sabers on my Oculus. So I do have an Oculus. They run about $300. Buying the software costs a little bit more, but it is a workout. My heart rate goes up to the point where it's supposed to be, although it's not as much as it used to. And for 20 minutes, I can just have fun playing a game that is a workout. So that kind of brings in the fun and the other schedule parts. But having just a quick, ready-to-do workout plan. So in my little gym over there, I have a bulletin board. And on my bulletin board, I have pinned up some exercise routines. And so if I don't know what to do, I can just grab one of those. I have some on a TV. I have YouTube on my TV in that room. And so I could just fire up one of those. Or if I don't feel like following a plan, fire up the Oculus. I got a Les Mills workout on Oculus. I have the Beat Sabers. I have about 5 different exercise programs. Maybe I should just do a whole episode on Oculus exercises. But, that I can do when I don't know what to do. Because that's always been a problem for me. I'll go into the gym and I go, I don't know what to do. And then I just walk out of there and I don't do anything. Or I start something and I just walk away. So instead of that case, try that. And then, like I said, making it convenient. There's apps out there. I think one of them is called Walkout, where it is just like every time you're at your microwave, do 10 squats. Every time you go upstairs, I could just do 10 quick push-ups. You have something that you do that are just like categories of what you like to do. So now what I do is every night before bed, I do a stretch routine. I bought like a little book on stretch routines, and I sort of do a stretch routine because I'm sort of at the age, I'm not old yet, but I'm still at the age where I get creaky. And so if I can stretch a little bit at night and stretch a little bit during the day, I feel a lot better. Leaving your equipment out. Now, this might be harder. It just so happens I have a room where I can leave my exercise equipment there. But if you can leave your dumbbells, your yoga mat, if you can leave things out, that will help you see it right away and then maybe able to use it right away. As soon as you put stuff away, then it becomes less visible and you're thinking, I don't feel like setting up the TRX. I'm not going to do it, which is why I spent $5 on a metal bar that I anchored to a wood beam in my ceiling. I think they're called rafters. I'm trying to learn the terms. And for $5, now I have my TRX and it just stays hooked up all the time. I have it clipped up so that when I'm not using it, it is off the ground and I don't whack my head. But you see how easy and convenient I've kind of made it for myself so that I do it. But let's talk about food. How can we make food more convenient? So if you buy vegetables or fruits, you can pre-chop them up and put them in tiny little bins so that you can just grab a thing of carrots or a thing of cauliflower anytime you want. Now, I find that the grocery stores have little bags of chopped up baby carrots or chopped up vegetables already there. I don't buy the platters because those tend to be really expensive, but little bags that you can do, and that way they stay fresh and they don't rot or anything like that. But having them available so that you can just have something to grab. I have a little bowl full of apples and pears so that anytime I feel like a little something, I can grab one of those. And I end up, this is a little bit more complicated and a little bit more expensive, but when I go and buy meat at Costco, because it's cheaper to do that, I have one of those food sealers, and everything is sealed into individual Jill-sized servings. All the meat is in about 3 ounces. And I seal them all up, and they're all there, and all I have to do is grab one of those, throw them in the fridge, thaw it out, and I have a Jill-sized, pre-measured amount of meat that I can eat. The other thing, too, is I find that when I have trouble eating healthy, it's because I'm tired. I had a long day. I mean, today is a day I'm tired today, I have to tell you. And so when it came down for me to eat dinner, I had a bowl of cottage cheese and some of the it's like wood pulp or chicory, something like that, fiber tortillas. And sometimes I'll just nuke a little bit of pre-cooked chicken, like the little chicken strips, put them inside of a tortilla, throw a couple of spinach things in it, wrap it up and eat that. Easy peasy, protein shakes, scrambled eggs, but have some meal plans in place that are just no effort. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat or what I want to eat. The other part of it, too, is that you could pre-portion other things, not just the vegetables, but think about like nuts, having individual-sized yogurt. Now, the unfortunate thing is a lot of times pre-portioned food tends to be bad for you because it tends to be some snack packs of things, and they tend to have chemicals, or they read like a complicated chemical background. But like I said, nuts and fruit and all sorts of things that you can put in individual servings. The other thing is, if you haven't tried it, and this is a good technique to make it convenient, is there's either slow cookers or there's those pressure cooker things. Now, I have the Ninja Foodie food cooker. I got it from Costco, so it's a lot cheaper, and then it's also cheaper during big sales like Black Friday sales and stuff like that. But the cool thing about the Foodie Ninja thing, it looks like a rocket ship, is that you can actually have multiple layers in there. So the vegetables steam on top, the chicken is in the middle, and the rice is at the bottom with this pool of water, and all of it drips down into the rice, and it makes the rice taste amazing. But what's awesome about that is I can put it in about 55 minutes before I'm ready to quit work, throw the layers right in there, hit the button, and it cooks like a 3-course meal for me. So another way to make things really convenient. There's all sorts of slow cooker, pressure cooker, foodie recipes out there, and I'm happy to share some with you if you want. I made something kind of interesting, and someday I'll talk about this, is that I took beans. I believe that they were pinto beans of some kind, and you actually slow cooker them with regular oats. And it turns into this very oatmeal consistency thing. You don't even taste the beans, but it adds a ton of protein and fiber into your oatmeal. Still tastes like a breakfast thing. Still tastes like oatmeal if you like oatmeal. But instead, it just kicks up that protein and fiber up quite a bit, making things like water convenient. Now, what I have is I have these 16-ounce water bottles I got on Amazon. They're glass because I'm trying to get away from this whole plastic business because apparently that's not good for you. And I fill up these water bottles and I put them in my fridge. They're pre-cold. Now, here's the one thing I don't do. So I got this from my dad. My dad was big into putting water bottles into the refrigerator. And I don't drink out of the water bottles because I think that water bottles are particularly hard to clean. And I'm trying to make this easy. So I have just like the Yeti, the Owala water bottles. I pour the water into those and I drink out of that. And so my water bottles never really get dirty because all they ever have is water in them. Refill it, throw it back in the fridge. So I always have cold water ready for me and ready for me to grab to go to the gym, to to just drink more water. And again, I'm drinking about 96 ounces of water a day. The other thing, either don't have junk food or food that you don't want to eat in your house, but if you do have to have it in your house, put it someplace where you don't have to see it. Out of sight, out of mind. And maybe you live in a place where you have a family and they like to eat junk food and they like to eat something. Is there a pantry? Like I sort of have a pantry in the back of my kitchen. And honestly, I don't put anything in there that I ever look at. But if I had a family, I would take all the snacks and put them back there so that I would never walk all the way back to the end of the kitchen where I would see it. I've done it for myself before where I have had these snacks I were addicted to and I bought them from Costco. And you know what? I ended up putting them in a snack drawer. But because that snack drawer is not convenient, I never opened it up. And so then I stopped looking in there, stopped eating it in there. And so the hilarious thing is I have this snack that's in there in a little container in this drawer that is like 100 years old, but I never eat it because I never think to open up that drawer. And so I never get rid of it because if I got rid of it, then I think, oh, let's go buy another one and then put it on the countertop. Nope, I'm happy with that stale thing right there. Making the healthier food right available to you. So I have one of those hanging bowls, I guess, to say, in my kitchen, and in there is fruit. And so when I walk into the kitchen, the very first thing in my eyeball line is this bowl of hanging fruit. So I'm quick to just, oh, okay, and then grab it and go back. So these small type tips can help you quite a bit in order to make things a lot more convenient for you. Now, let me give you one other rule that I have when it comes to junk food. And I know this won't work for everybody, but I found that when I told myself, you can't buy snacks at the grocery store, then I would just think, I just want to have snacks. I would think about having snacks all the time. And it would make me, this ban would make me lament about it. And so what I told myself is, no, you can. You can eat anything you want. You want a bag of Doritos? You can have a bag of Doritos. You can have anything you want, but you have to go get it. So you're not allowed to buy Doritos when you go grocery shopping. But if you decide, I decided right now, I need a bag of Doritos, I would have to get dressed. Well, I am dressed. Get in my car, drive over to the grocery store, and buy a bag of Doritos. And you know what? I am more lazy than I'm snacky. So I never do it. I have never done it. I have never just decided, oh, okay, I'm going to go buy a bag of Doritos. Just by telling myself, sure, you can have whatever you want to have, Jill. Eat it. Go for it. But you have to go get it when you're going to eat it. Now, how did I come up with that? I started that with video games. I used to buy video games all the time. Then 50, 60, 90 bucks a pop, right? This is back in the day when you had a box and you looked like a giant nerd through any store you were in. But what I told myself is you can't buy a game unless you're going to play it now. Right now. You have time. You have some time. Go play the video game now. Go ahead. Drive to Best Buy and go buy that game. And all of a sudden I stopped buying video games because I imagined I had more time than I did. So I never had time to play the video game, so I never bought the video game and I stopped buying video games. So what can we do then to make our exercise and health plans more fun? So here's a couple of techniques I've done to just increase the fun of it. First of all, I've told myself I only have to do it for 5 minutes. I used to tell myself when I went to the gym, all I have to do is show up there with my exercise clothes on, walk into the gym and do something for 5 minutes. I'm not feeling it, I can go home. And I never did. Part of it is that I have set aside special either TV shows, movies, or podcasts or Audible books. So at one point I listened to the audiobook of Harry Potter, all 7, 8, 10 books. I listened to all the books and they're fantastic. All the audiobooks are great. And I told myself I can only listen to those books while I'm exercising. So if you want to find out what happens next, you better start exercising. And so that made me want to go exercise. I had some sort of visual, I don't want to call it an app, but they have some of these on YouTube. But there's something called BitGym. I think it's called BitGym. And yeah, it's called BitGym. And what it does is it works with you bouncing up and down on a treadmill and it moves your iPad video along. And I never paid for the subscription because I find that the price of the subscription is a little pricey if you're doing other things, which I do other things. But some of the gym equipment had, you're walking up Yosemite, you're doing a hike in Paris. And so then you would bounce along and walk as it walked, you walk. And I remember at one point, I noticed that I never got to the very tip top of Yosemite. And I said, wait a minute, I want to see what's at the top of this. And so suddenly my 30-minute exercise turned into an hour exercise because I just wanted to see what was at the top of Yosemite. So it encouraged me to exercise more. Boy, I really need to do an Oculus episode of this. But I have 2 apps on my Oculus. One of the apps will let you play games. And so some of them are like horse riding, and you're trying to lasso a horse, and the faster you pedal, you'll go through this horse. But then it has weird things too. Try to capture these little bits and bops along the way. And so it tracks your face as you look at something and you say, ooh, I saw a deer. Ooh, I saw an owl. And then it tracks it for you. And at some point it'll say, oh no, the gates are closing, row faster. And so it tries to encourage you to do intervals that are there. That's Oculus. It's called VZ Fit. And then there's another one that I use that uses Google Maps. And this is the most incredible thing ever. It uses Google Maps. And as you bike, you're traveling along on a Google map. And it has some games associated with it. And that means like it plops you down in 5 locations somewhere in the world, and you're supposed to bike around or whatever exercise you're doing. And then you're supposed to guess where in the world you are. Well, there's those weird red barns that they have in Sweden. Maybe I'm in the Nordic, so you start trying to gather clues by biking and you figure out where you're at. But if you don't want to do the games, with a paid subscription, you can actually plot a course and then go on that course. So I did the 109-mile hike that I did in England. I did that on the bike. And then I did the ring road in Iceland. That's 898 miles. So I just biked that whole thing because I was driving when I went to Iceland. And I thought, well, maybe you want to just sit on a bike and see that. So there's ways of turning it into fun games to encourage you not only just to keep going, but to go faster. There's even virtual races you can do with other people. Makes it fun. There are other types of apps out there that just can make you do workouts together. This Les Mills thing is kind of funny because it's also on Oculus. And you are working with a room of 10 random people. You don't know who they are. And you're getting a score by how hard you're working out. And then you try to win. So it encourages you to do a little bit more. And that makes it kind of fun. So I try to make exercise and workouts a little bit more fun than they could be. And Oculus is a big part of how I've done that. I had a friend of mine, she just likes to exercise by dancing. So she put on her favorite dance songs and she put on a video of people dancing to that song and she tried to follow them. There are also some fun apps on just your cell phone. There's one called Zombie Run. And I hope that I'm going to do this, but Zombie Run's kind of funny. So you're running and it follows where you are on the map, just like a Pokemon way to get yourself to walk. But then it says, oh no, the zombies are chasing you and you have to run till you get to the next curb. So it's trying to get you to do intervals and to step up your running a little bit, but it's very funny and it has this kind of tale to it. Oh, you got to go to this corner. And when you go to this corner, you're going to collect a gallon of water for your survival. And that's kind of fun, right? Making food, eating more fun. So you could try having like a cooking competition with you and your friends about what's the healthiest meal you could make. And then maybe go over to your house every week and see what that other person produced as a healthy meal and share recipes and encourage each other to eat more healthy foods by making it sort of a fun cooking time or cook together with your friends. And one of the things I did at work is we used to have these dessert competitions and chili stew things at work. And at one point I said, hey, let's have a competition. Who could make a really healthy meal? And so that's what we did. And I ended up doing crepes. Then another thing that you can do for fun cooking time is sometimes just take yourself out to a healthy restaurant. Now, I have gone to healthy restaurants with friends before, and just to see what they would serve to me. I'm not vegan, nor am I gluten-free, but this restaurant, because this other person picked it, was gluten-free and vegan. And I picked out a recipe that I thought would be difficult to be healthy. Learned a little bit about what a healthy cooking would be. Then another fun thing that you can do is sort of do like a cooking show where you challenge you and your friends. Okay, I'm going to buy a box of something very healthy, and we're each going to develop a recipe and eat it on Wednesday nights, and then we'll share the recipe with it. But we got to keep it healthy, and you have some rules. And so you have like a little remote cooking competition. And then there's other things like right now, I'm working with cookbooks because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat when I'm done. And I'm going to try to figure out, is there a way I can make healthy foods taste better? That I can eat something that is a little bit more exciting. And sometimes you can take something like a smoothie, as you probably know, and turn it into a shake very easily and make it not so bad for you. But you can also put protein powder in there, chia seeds to make it a little bit more fibrous. You can put fresh fruit in those things. And so I started challenging myself last summer. Can I make the ultimate tasty smoothie? Pizzas. Pizzas are another great way that you can make a very healthy pizza, but exciting. And so I ended up having these very high fiber pizza dough things. I ended up putting turkey sausage on it. And I don't like vegetables on my pizza, but I found ways of making it pretty healthy. And so now I have a pizza recipe that is a lot of fun. So there's just some ideas to make things simple, convenient, and fun to do when you're trying to lose weight. I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some ideas. But if you can do those things, you'll be more likely to break the barriers to do them. You will probably be more likely to enjoy doing them because they're simple, they're fun, they're like a challenge to try doing something exciting, incorporating your friends into it. I mentioned that in food, but you can incorporate your friends into exercise too, where you go to the gym together, you go for a walk together. Every step helps. I appreciate you listening. Please remember you can email me at jill@startwithsmallsteps.com. I have a podcast, Start With Small Steps, that I've been doing for 4 years about ideas like this. This is really focused on healthiness because this is my focus of my year. But that podcast talks about all sorts of different types of things that you can do to make your life a little bit better. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, tell a friend, and hey, say hello in the chat. I appreciate it.